Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim preaching his word with truth and sincerity around the four corners. Like Elder Malcolm will be saying, risking their lives and freedom to do so, now more so than ever, because Esau is not playing. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners, the Israelites that live amongst the heathen that look like the heathen. This is not a black thing. This is an Israelite thing. Shalom to the speckled bird. And peace and salutations to the Akim and the Aqua, the true believers of the hopeful elect. Just coming back in the spirit and theme of prophecy. And I wanted to talk about basically what they're doing with the money system and how they're moving into a cashless society slowly but surely, and they're gradually doing it. I got this article that from watching a video of a few days ago, from the elder out there in Vegas, GMS Vegas Sit Downs. That's his YouTube handle. I believe his name is Elder Karataza. So subscribe and be edified. And I'm going to read the article, hit maybe like one precept, because one precept that goes with it. I got some notes that I took down. I'm going to read those off top from the video. And Lord's willing, this will be edifying. But then, they're basically coming with us with the banking system. This is just one step closer to the MOTB. Matter of fact, I'll read the notes first, some of the notes, and then go into the article. I wrote down, the title of the of the elders video. It said more places adopting the cashless digital model, more transition into the MOTB setup. And like I wrote in the notes, we're starting to see the gradual change and feel the transition into this digital system. Starting to see more AI replacement in the retail sector. Human activity is being phased out. You don't have as much human interaction now. Everything is self-automated. Everything is digital, requiring biometrical technology like facial recognition or palm print. Like in that store, I remember some months ago, Elder Apostle Tahar, he put up a short of him going into a Whole Foods, and it had the palm scanner, like where you put your palm in and scan your palm for payment. And this was months ago, if I dare say last year. So they've been gearing the public up for the implementation of the MOTB. It says everything is going cashless. This is part of the MOTB system. And if you don't know, MOTB stands for Mark of the Beast. The MOTB system that has to be rolled out. They're setting the stage for it, and we're witnessing it in real time. The more we transition, the more you're going to see cash become more obsolete. They're phasing cash out eventually, and especially with this bill, it's going to accelerate the crash of the dollar because it's losing its value. It's losing its value. Talking about that big beautiful bill. I believe it's the big beautiful bill. If not, I forgot the name of the other bill. There's so many bills and executive orders that Trump has written into office. It's hard to keep up. But with that big beautiful bill, he's cutting the basically the Medicaid. He's cutting the Medicaid and Medicare that millions of Americans get. So they're not going to say, and there's more tax cuts on top of that. He's cutting the WIC, the Section 8, the food stamps. If the men are going to be able to claim their child on their child if they pay child support on their taxes, so the women not going to be able to claim that anymore. Trump is shaking up a lot and stirring the pot, and stirring a lot of people. Are getting reactions in the political and social world. Just like it says they're phasing cash out eventually, and especially with this bill, it's going to accelerate the crash of the dollar because it's losing its value. Yeah, the dollar every day is losing value. Plus, with America so much in debt, putting more and more trillions of dollars into this system that they're crafting towards this very same system that they're rolling out. A technocratic AI controlled system. And that's exactly what we're moving towards. The fourth industrial revolution. Man merged with machine. Transhumanism. This is basically transhumanism gradualism. Like Apostle Gabar always says, you gotta look up the word technocratic totalitarianism. You gotta look that up. Technocracy. That's what we're moving towards. Because everything is going digital, so eventually they're going to phase out the credit card and the debit card. They're pushing crypto real heavy, and Trump is big on crypto all of a sudden. And if you remember last year, he said that before he got into the presidency, when he was running for the presidency, he said that he wasn't a fan of cryptocurrency, and then all of a sudden he had to change the heart. Why? I believe it's because the powers that be, the international banking family, because that's who runs the world. They basically sat him down, and somebody pulled him to the side and told him that they'll allow him to be president, but he has to jump on board with the cryptocurrency. That's what I believe. Because it doesn't make sense that he was against it and now he's all for it. What people fail to realize is that it doesn't matter who's in office. It doesn't matter what diplomatic party is in office. They would, like Elder Malcolm would be saying, they're two wings on the same hateful bird. So it really doesn't matter if people pay attention more to the wings than the actual bird. It doesn't matter what side you're on. They both follow the agenda of the global elites, and that's basically all that's the bottom line. That's all it boils down to. But anyway, that was my notes, and now let's get into the article. And like I said, this is from Newsbreak. It says 8 places that no longer accept cash in 2025. So this is going to be the 8 places that no longer accept cash. And you best believe that there's going to be more places than this as time goes on. Me, I'm just speaking as a man, but I believe by 2026, if we're, most likely, I can't predict the future, but it looks like if we're still here, because the prophecies still have to come to pass, by 2026, 2027, cash will be phased out, except in the ghetto neighborhoods, places that like little corner stores and not chain restaurants, but little small regular mom and pop restaurants if they still around. Because you still got a couple out and about. But let's get into this article. It says, not long ago, cash was considered the universal form of payment. Fast forward to 2025, and a growing number of businesses and venues across the US have completely phased it out. Whether driven by speed, security, or sheer convenience, many retailers now require credit, debit, or digital wallet payments. It says, while some applaud the cashless trend for cutting down on theft and streamlining transactions, others argue it excludes those without access to banking. And that's another thing too. Not everybody has not everybody has these cashless ways of making of producing payment. Uh, but I would say by now everybody has a debit or a credit card, but not everybody has a payless to put the card on your banking card on your phone, Google Pay or Apple Pay. Not everybody has that. And this is just like I said, this is gradualism. This is technocratic gradualism, technocracy gradualism. They're just getting you more and more conditioned, so when they pull out the stops and say that the MOTB is mandatory and you can't buy or sell without it, like pursuant to the scriptures, the people will be more pressed to take it because they don't want to be, cast out of society. And that's when, like Apostle Taha always said, that's the game changer. When the chip is made mandatory, that's going to be the game changer. That's going to separate the men from the boys. It says, if you still like paying with bills and coins, you might want to avoid these 8 places that no longer accept cash. Number 1 is sports and stadiums. America's pastime, bread and circus. It says, attending a game or concert at a major venue, don't bother bringing cash. Stadiums like Yankee Stadium, SoFi Stadium, and many NBA and NFL arenas have fully embraced cashless transactions. From parking to concessions, it's card, tap, or scan only. These venues say it reduces wait times and increases security, but some fans have voiced frustration. If you're headed to a game, be sure your digital payment method is charged and ready. You see, so as you can see, the people they're not really with this form of payment or this transition of method. This is strictly Esau and the government, the banking family, doing this on their own. Why? Because they want total control. Number 2, airline and flight and service, and airlines and in-flight services. Airlines have been leading the charge toward a cashless experience, especially for in-flight purchases. As of 2025, most major carriers, including Delta, United, and American Airlines, no longer accept cash for drinks, snacks, or seat upgrades. The move is largely logistical, aiming to speed up service and improve inventory tracking. While airport shops may still accept cash, once you're in the air, it's card or nothing. Frequent flyers have had to adjust quickly to this no cash altitude shift. Yeah, and that's exactly what they want. It's card or nothing. And sooner or later, who's to say that you got a chip in your card? So why wouldn't you think that they want to put a chip inside of you, inside the human? It's only a matter of time. Fast casual and chain restaurants. It says matter of fact, number 4, ride share and food delivery service. It says Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, and other app-based services have always leaned cashless, but now it's mandatory in most areas. In 2025, tipping with physical money or offering cash for fare adjustments will no longer be accepted on most platforms. Drivers and couriers are instructed to reject any physical currency for liability reasons. The, the platforms say this ensures transparency and driver safety. If you're using rideshare or delivery, make sure your payment method is updated in the app. See, this is just total control. Like, what if you wanted to slip your delivery guy a 20 or even a 50 if you felt generous, or even 100 if you felt extra generous? Like, who's to say how much what if you didn't want anybody to know that, you know? Esau wants to know everything. He wants to be like the Most High. Music festivals, and number 5, music festivals and large public events. You know, and that goes without saying. That goes right along with your sports, with your sports stadiums. Number 6, college campuses and student services. Universities across the U.S. have joined the cashless movement, especially when it comes to bookstores, dining halls, and campus events. Many now require students to use campus cards, mobile wallets, or online portals for all payments. ATMs are becoming increasingly rare on college grounds. This shift aims to align with tech-savvy students while reducing theft and administrative headaches. Parents sending students off to school should expect a fully digital spending experience. So the young men and women that go to college, you know, they're basically they're getting them conditioned at a young age to basically move around without cash, you know. So they want to buy something, they want to attend a function, they're going to have a cashless payment, most likely through their phone. You see, so Esau is really, you know, coming with his trickery, getting everybody conditioned for the NWO, new to the world, to the order. Number 7, toll roads and parking garages. Yeah, so, you know, right now you can go into a parking garage, and, you know, from what I remember, you put your car in, you press a button at a machine, it gives you a slip for your car, and then on your way out, you meet a person at the gate. You give them your slip, you give them the money, and then they allow you out. Now, from what it says, matter of fact, let me just read it. Now you're going to have to, if you don't pay cashless through some type of digital transaction, you're not going to be able to take your car out of that parking lot or that parking spot. You know, it says drivers may be shocked to find that many toll booths and parking garages no longer accept cash. States like Florida, California, and New York have expanded their open road tolling systems, relying entirely on license plate scanning and transponders. Many private garages and parking lots now use QR code-based payments through apps. Coins and bills are rapidly being phased out. If you're on a road trip this year, don't expect to pay your way in quarters. Yeah, with some of the major bridges in New York, you know, throughout the 5 boroughs, they have the Easy Pass, or you pay with it, or they take a picture of your license plate and send you a bill in the mail. You know, all of those toll booth attendants or agents, they've done away with those. So those are job loss. You know, somebody's livelihood going down the drain. I believe they still have them in some parts of Jersey, but in New York, there's hardly any. In the city, I don't know about upstate. Then it says number 8, some retail stores and boutiques. And you know they've been doing this. It says, believe it or not, even some small boutiques and flagship retail locations have joined the cashless trend. Apple stores, select Nike and Lululemon locations, and tech forward shops are increasingly card only. These businesses often aim for a sleek, fast checkout experience and prefer digital payments for inventory tracking. Though cash refusal remains controversial in some states, the trend continues in areas with lax regulations. Don't be surprised if you're asked to tap to pay even at your local clothing store. Yeah, so no matter what you and no matter what you want to buy, you know there's going to come a tap and pay. You know, Esau is definitely moving full steam ahead with his new to the world to the order. And that's the 8 places that no longer accept cash in 2025. Let me get one precept. The only precept that I could think of, you know, the only precept that I could think of that fits this article is Revelation 13 and 16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, a charagma, in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. You see, so you gotta understand. And it's coming very soon. If you can't see it, then the Holy Spirit's not dealing with you, and you're just lost in the sauce. But you can clearly see that the writing is on the wall. This is going to become a technocratic totalitarianism, a technocracy. All forms of cash payment, physical cash payment, are being phased out for digital. You got cryptocurrency coming back full steam ahead, even though they took a nosedive, I believe, last year or the year before. Now you got Trump backing it. But why? Because they're coming with that new to the world, to the order. They want everybody to. If you haven't watched it, I highly suggest before they take it off the internet, you watch that interview that Alex Jones did with Aaron Russo before he passed. Aaron Russo did a interview with Alex Jones talking about how he spoke to Nick Rockefeller. And how Nick Rockefeller said that they want everybody chipped. They want everybody C-hipped. You see? Just like how you can chip your animal so it doesn't Salaki. That's like how you could chip your animal. Just like how you could chip your animal and so it doesn't get lost. Esau, the small hats, they call the people Goyim, and Goyim means cattle. So they look at you like animals anyway. So they're basically trying to take claim of their property, and that's why you better not take that chip under any circumstances. If you do, you're going to receive the penalty that's written about in Revelation the 14th chapter. Not to mention you'll get that grievous sore written about in Revelation the 16th chapter. You see? So these is definitely, some interesting times that are coming ahead. And Lord's will, we make it out on the side of the Heavenly Father. But, yeah, that's all I got on that. I just wanted to blow the trumpet on that. Lord's will, you was edified. Till next time, I'm going to say shalom to the elect. And don't take that chip. Get prepared to be cashless.